originally I was thinking one squad, but I don't want this to be exclusive to anyone. I realised that I don't actually have time to, if everyone was to want to be part of this, I wouldn't have time to do a program for everyone. Unfortunately, it's just the way it is. That A squad will have a goals and planning consultation. Okay, so basically in that time we'll talk about a target time, and for most of you, if I've got some sort of result, a time trial result, then I'll be able to actually put it through a calculator and let you know what I expect you'll be able to do if you stick to your program. Okay, now you can do this online anywhere. They have race predictors, but the key thing is they don't know how much training you're going to do, so it's very hard for them to tell you accurately. My target time will be based on you doing the program. If the program doesn't go as planned, then we change that time, and on race day you actually do know what is an achievable time for you, and hopefully you beat it by a few seconds. The whole point for me of running races is to be able to have a sprint finish. Okay, and you're only going to get a sprint finish if you pace the rest of the race well. Okay, it's very easy to get this one wrong because it's so flat in the first half. You think you're on target, or maybe you're ahead of your target and you think you're fine because you're breathing fine, but actually you've gone too fast and you're in a state that you shouldn't be in leading up to the hills. Okay, so we want to avoid that. There'll be a report basically with your ideal week, so this will come out of that goals and planning consultation where we'll basically have what's your ideal week. Okay, so obviously we've got a couple of club runs, hopefully you can do those. If you can't, then we'll decide on another time of the week to do one of your runs. Obviously we want to have a long run. We decide whether you're going to do that on a Saturday or a Sunday, or you need to have a completely different plan. We've got our strength for runners trainings on Wednesdays. If you are in this A squad, then you can attend that each Wednesday night. If you can't attend that, when are you going to do your strength work? Okay, in the squad you'll have a strength program to follow to prevent injuries and to help you run faster when you're training and in your event. And the more strength training you do, the faster we can make that target time. All right. There'll be a distance progression chart as well, so that's basically, it's like a spreadsheet, but it'll say, right, this weekend you're doing this long run, this weekend you're doing this long run, and these are the distances that you're going to hit. Okay, there's no speeds in that. It's a very basic thing that you can stick on your fridge just to remind you how far you're going on the day. But it is very important because you need to be able to see ahead of where you are that weekend, what's coming up, and that if you miss this particular run that you're supposed to be doing as part of this progressive plan, then there's a good chance that you're not going to be able to hit the next distance for the following long run. Okay, so it's important to have this available to you. Now, more specific, you'll have your own program. So this is available on my fitness application called GymCalc. That'll dictate your speeds that you'll run. Obviously the distances will match up with your distance chart, but this is where a lot of people's programs don't work for them. Okay, you can download a free program online that'll tell you what distance to do each weekend or each run, but it can't really tell you how fast to go because they don't know you, they don't know what you've done in the past, whereas the speeds in your program as part of the squad will be based on your time trial result. Okay, so that's why I say this weekend, ideally, everyone that wants to take part should record a time trial result, get it to me, and we can put it in, basically make all of your runs based on that. So it doesn't mean you're going at time trial speed, but it'll be a percentage of time trial speed. It'll also be converted for the distance that you're going to run, because you're going to be running further than time trial distance, shorter than time trial distance. Okay, so it's a very scientific approach, and it works. It really does work. There's unlimited email and phone support. Okay, so any questions you have about your training, whether maybe you want to add in another event, maybe a 10k leading up to the half, maybe another half marathon that happens. People say, oh, maybe I could do this half marathon the weekend before, and I'll look at your distance plan and we'll make a decision whether it's actually achievable to do that, or what you're going to have to, whether you're going to have to target one of those events, or are you happy just to do both of them, not as well as if you were just doing one of them. Decisions like that. Okay, and summer's not that long. We're going into the best time of the year for runners. Okay, you should be looking at events and trying to make the most of the fitness that you're building up. Okay, it's no good just trying to go through your year staying fit to lose weight and to feel fit. Find yourself a goal and work towards it. It's so much more motivating. It's going to change, or basically help you make better decisions when you're deciding whether to go out for that run or not, especially if you're starting to feel like you're not getting anywhere with it. If you've got a plan, you will be progressing, and you know why you're progressing, because it's to hit this target. Okay, and that's the Cheltenham Half Marathon. Included in your program, your running program, there'll be a strength workout as well, and that'll progress just like your running program will. So you'll have hard weeks and easy weeks with the strength training if you stick to that. I've mentioned the Strength for Runners trainings, okay, so they're on Wednesday nights. And also to help people with their strength training technique, okay, so it's one thing for me to prescribe exercises. There are videos on this application, so you can look at the technique just to remind you what the exercise is, how it's done properly, but it's not the same as having someone to actually demonstrate the exercise for you, talk to you about it, make you do it, and provide feedback. Okay, so that's what I want to provide with these small group trainings. Okay, and this is quite a big deal. I mean, we fitness coaches do have rates, and I'm not charging anything per session here. It's all just covered by this one fee. Okay, so you imagine, I'll be putting a message up on our secret Facebook group, basically to say, hey, look, I want to teach you guys some strength exercises that'll be in your program. Who can make this time? Who can make this time? What time suits you best? And we'll just go down to the gym and run through them, or come to a park and run through them. Obviously, they need to be based on what equipment you're going to have available, so I wouldn't give you a whole bunch of gym exercises with heavy weights if you don't have a gym membership. But strength, it's totally underutilized. When I went to the talk at the Science Festival the other day, one of the main presenters was asked the question, what things do you think would most help people run faster? His top replies were, people need to have a goal and to work towards that goal with a program, and then they also need to have a strength workout. They need to be building their strength. These are the things that not enough people are doing, and it just improves your love of running, and that's, for me, that's the big thing, is to try and improve your guys' experience of running. Right? Now the final thing we've got on here is your race strategy consultation. Okay, so you imagine we're in the final week or two before the event. It's really important that you need to know what speed you're going to target for at least the first 3/4 of the event. Okay, so at the end of it, hopefully you've stuck to that and you've been able to push on at the end and really pass a lot of people going up hills through the race course, and hopefully even had a sprint finish that we've talked about. Okay, so I think that's it's a pretty key thing. I think it really does help to have a plan in your head, and we'll know what you can achieve based on what you've done in your training. So each long run that you go out on, we'll be able to look back on that run and basically see what speed you should be doing. All right. So the ideal member for this squad, for the A squad as we're calling it, basically is looking to bite off a fair bit of a challenge. Okay, they're wanting to do something, really make something big of the next 3 months, and they're not just looking to do the same old thing that they do each year. Couch to 5K people are ideal, but also experienced runners who maybe have run a lot of half marathons and they're just not making big gains on any of them. They're going from one event to the next and getting frustrated. They think they've done something different, but it doesn't seem to have done the trick for them. People also have the ability to inspire others, okay? So, if someone reads a post that you put on Facebook, or just say you're in conversation with someone and you're telling them that, you've not only finished the Cheltenham half, but you did an amazing time, or maybe you knocked even just 20 seconds off your time as an experienced runner. If your friend knows you, then they will know that was a big deal to you, and, hopefully it will inspire them to think more positively about getting active themselves. The B squad, I've added this in because I don't want to exclude anyone. Okay, we want to basically have everyone available to find out when these long runs are, to get involved with the communication and the support, and also to come along to the extra runs that we put on. Something I should have mentioned is that there's no reason why someone couldn't post in this group, I can't make training tonight, who can do tomorrow morning, right? And wouldn't it be great to be able to not have to do that run from your program by yourself, especially if it's a long one and it's a big distance, to know that other people can come along. These people will obviously, as I say, they'll be able to come along to any new trainings, and they'll have their own pace chart as well, right, to know what distance they should be doing on the weekend to build up to the race. So that's it. Basically, it's just the application process. It's very short. It's a very short form. Asks basic details, but then also, why are you looking to do the event? So I'd encourage you all at least to go on, fill out that form, and we'll be in touch about which squad's best for you. This weekend, if you want to get involved with the Cheltenham Half, ideally you go out and do a 5k time trial if you are in one of our beginners groups, or an 8k time trial if you're quite capable of doing 8k. Okay, if you've just run your first 8k, it's probably not a good idea to do an 8k time trial. Just stick with 5. It's not a big deal. But if you're feeling pretty fit, then take on the 8k and email me your results. Next week, as soon as people start applying, we'll start booking in these goals and planning consultations. We want to ideally get this started before we're 12 weeks out from the race, so that people are in their program and using it for that first week of a 12-week program. We'll then go into basically as part of this Facebook groups, trying to figure out what other times we can do for trainings. Okay, so whether it be starting a Sunday morning long run, there's no reason why we can't have our 10 group doing a Saturday afternoon long run and a 10 group also doing a Sunday morning long run. There's no reason why this can't happen. Now, unfortunately, I can't commit to doing weekends due to family requirements, so I'll be doing my absolute best to help facilitate this, but unlike our club runs, I can't be there very often at all. But there's no reason why it shouldn't happen. I'll still provide the maps for you guys to follow if you want to use those, and I'll be encouraging you all to make sure at least one person in the group has a GPS watch to keep the speed correct. I've got a spare of those, so there's no reason why you can't borrow them. Okay, we're actually going to have a talk next week to basically get you thinking about your support team. Okay, you all know Kate by now. Most of you have had a session with her. You know that she's amazing and she's fixing people. She is here tonight. But also we've got my wife Georgina is a nutritional therapist, and those that have seen her are raving about her. Unfortunately, she can't make any of these sessions because I'm here. She's looking after our children. She would love to be running with us. Trust me, she is an avid runner. She was running this morning, but it's just an unfortunate fact. We also have Sharon as well, who's done a couple of talks on mental skills, and I think that's a big deal, knowing where your weaknesses are and how you're going to approach them, whether it be on race day or on deciding whether you're actually going to run at any particular training session.